Hey, what's up? So this one is about supplementation. And so this is something that I find quite annoying. So I've been taking a bunch of supplements. I've not been shy about that. So the question is maybe why would we start taking supplements? And the answer, at least for me, is because we're clutching at straws. Because we're experiencing some form of maybe deficiency, some form of ailment, something that we're trying to put our finger on, where we're not functioning properly, and so it's like, okay, well maybe you need some of this, or maybe you need some of that, and so we go down to the health food store and we purchase some bottle of some stuff, right? And thinking that hopefully this will help to remedy whatever is troubling us. And the issue is that, sometimes we might find some relief from whatever it is that has been our difficulty. But the thing is, so number one, I mean, you don't want to get, dependent on these things. They're not cheap, and even if they are cheap, you gotta really look into where these things come from. If they're not natural, then it's like say one of the bad ones is to do with ascorbic acid, also known as vitamin C, and so there are natural forms of this and unnatural forms. And the unnatural forms, I do believe the idea is that your body isn't going to recognize them as a nutrient. It's just going to maybe recognize them more as a toxin or something, or just not know what to do with it all, and you're just going to pee it out. So it's not good for you. Putting things in your body that your body doesn't want or need and can't use, I mean, doesn't sound like and you're wasting, it doesn't sound like a good idea, and you're wasting your money. And then, so on top of that, so like I was dealing with all kinds of things, low energy and this and that. I mean, and so during that period of time, it's like you're desperate, and you're just like, so you go to the health food store, wherever it is that you get your fix from, or you're looking for a fix, right? It sounds like drugs, and it freaking is. And so you go there, and then you can talk to people and they help you out. Like, I go to a place that is a well-known health food store. I mean, most of the things that they sell there are pretty healthy, and so then you have this trust for these people and for this business, for this store, and for the products that they carry. And it's easy to just be like, okay, well, I think this one's good. I mean, you kind of look at it and you don't really know what half of the ingredients are on there, but I mean, you talk to the lady or the guy or whatever, it's usually ladies, and they'll be like, this is good, and da-da-da-da. And then you just start taking it, right? Without really doing a whole lot of research, because you're trying to remedy something that is challenging for you. And so you want some relief. You're looking for a way to get past whatever challenge you're facing health-wise. But then come the complications, right? Because say like for something like this, vitamin D. Do we need vitamin D? Yes. Is this a viable source of vitamin D? It is. It comes, so the vegan source, it comes from something called lichens, which they're like a moss. Certain types of mosses that grow on rocks and just out in the woods, they grow on trees. They're like a symbiotic organism that lives on plants. They don't harm the plants. It's where the word symbiotic came from, was to describe this relationship between these organisms and the plants and other organisms that they live on, because they kind of, they live in harmony with one another. And so this stuff is harvested, and it is a source of vitamin D because absorbs vitamin D in the same way that mushrooms do. Like you can put mushrooms in the sun and they will absorb vitamin D, and you can get vitamin D through there. So all of a sudden it's just like, yeah, okay, there's sources of things in the natural world where we can, if you're in a place where you're not getting enough of certain nutrients and you can get it from that, and it's like, okay, right? So it sort of makes sense to take certain supplements. But the problem is, so you're taking vitamin D, if you're in Canada in the wintertime and you've been depleted of this stuff, and so you need to take like a decent amount because you're just not getting it from anywhere else. And so then in order to absorb it properly, they're like, oh, well, you got to take K2 because it's important. It helps it tells your body where to direct it. It's like, okay, we got to do this with it. And then also for absorption or whatever, then you take it with magnesium. And then so now you're not just taking one thing, you're taking three things. But it's like, okay, whatever. I mean, I'm trying to survive in this barren wasteland, for this period of time. I mean, and just to say it, it's like, I know in the back of my mind that none of this is the answer. The answer is this place is inhospitable for me. I cannot spend another winter here because I don't like this protocol. This is ridiculous. I'm going to find a way to structure my life so that I can go south when I need to and have that be a part of, that is my protocol, is to go to where there is fresh food and sunlight and swim in the ocean and get my dreads wet and whatnot, right? So this is the thing. So, and then I remember when I was trying to figure things out, it was like another one was just like, okay, what's wrong with me? Maybe I need some B vitamins. Maybe I'm short in B vitamins. I don't know, right? I mean, so you buy this thing and then you start taking it. And did I notice a difference? No, but I mean, I bought them. I probably spent $20-$30 on this ball, right? So then what do? When you're taking your little supplements, you take one of these too, right? Because why not? I mean, what else are you supposed to do with them? Just throw them out, or who else wants these damn things, right? And then all of a sudden you got all of these things that you're taking. Some of them aren't even about that. So there are certain ones that are you just hear about. So maybe you're into living a long time and youthing, you're living healthy and rejuvenating your body and all that kind of stuff. Like really doing everything that you can to stay young and look healthy and to age gracefully, right? And so you might have heard about something called resveratrol. And so this stuff, it comes from grapes, from certain types of grapes. And so here we have it in this nice little 500 milligram capsule, and it is in a concentrated form. So you're getting what is this, an antioxidant, which is good for you because your body deals with all kinds of oxidative damage just due to your environment and everything that you're exposed to, as well as the things that you eat. So antioxidants are good for you, right? Yeah, but, and we'll get to that. What about, because I am into aging gracefully, you hear from people who are into that kind of stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, okay, well, NAD or NMN, and there's people like, oh yeah, you gotta take this stuff. So maybe you get yourself a little bottle of that stuff, and it's like, what does it do? All I notice is that it definitely, I would never take this if I wanted to focus on something. I feel it's a stimulant, kind of like caffeine or something like that. And so I would only take it, say, before going to work or whatever, because it doesn't really matter. But then all of a sudden you got this, right? And then, I heard from people too. So like you might have heard about how Curcumin is good for you. Curcumin is a substance that comes from turmeric, which is a root. Been used for thousands of years, anti-bacterial and this and that. It's good for you. Anti-inflammatory is a big thing. So good for sickness, good for health, good for recovery and whatnot. So maybe you got a little bit of this, because to get like a good dosage of it, say if you just use it in your food, it needs to be combined with black pepper, not a big deal. It needs to be kind of cooked in fat, it's fat soluble, not a big deal. But you can also get it in this pill, and maybe it's been fermented or it's been processed in some kind of a way so that the bioavailability is there, and it helps to relieve joint inflammation and joint pain. So it's like, who can't use a little bit of that? Sounds great, right? It's all natural, right? Wrong. Because, and so here's the issue. Magnesium, you look at this. So what's in here? This is I got a bad pile and a good pile. We'll get through the bad ones first. So the magnesium. So these are all high quality supplements from a reputable health food store. I mean, like, you know me, I'm not a slouch. I don't just go to like Walmart and buy my things, you know. It's ain't from London, the London drugs, like over the counter. You know, like, I'm pretty careful. I make sure that the stuff, it's coming from a good source. You know, it's like, if that's not a good source, then there is no good source, as far as I'm concerned. And that's the thing, is that you build this trust with these stores and with these people who work there, and it's like you're clutching at straws. You're trying to like solve a riddle. And anyways, so in here, what do we got? Non-medicinal ingredients. The one in the problem one, colloidal silicon dioxide. Well, have you ever bought something new and then you see these little packages inside that say silicon dioxide, poison, do not eat? Well, but in trace amounts, because it serves their purpose, they put it inside of these things because it's like a anti-caking agent. It keeps things dry, and whatever reason that they have. And so colloidal means it's a certain size, like a particulate size, like colloidal silver. It's to do, the size of the, molecules or whatever. And so you have this fine form of this stuff. And of course, the FDA says, oh yeah, it's okay, in small amounts. But they say that about everything that they want to pump down your throat, because they don't care at all about your health. They're who knows what their agenda is, but it's not about like protecting people like it should be, if you know what I mean. And so another one here too, carnauba wax. What is that? And this is something you have to like do some research. You have to ask the right questions, because if you ask the wrong questions on the internet, then you'll get the wrong answers. You have to really want to know the dirt. And so you have to formulate your questions in a way where you're looking for those scientific studies that were done in France that say about the harmful effects of silicon dioxide, also known as silica, right? So this is a problem. They hide it under different names, different products, and how it's like, okay, well, it doesn't directly deteriorate your gut lining, but is shown to have a detrimental effect on like something on like gut health and to something. I can't remember the exact wording, but I mean, it's there. It takes 2 seconds to actually Google this stuff and find it out. And carnauba wax too is another one where it's like gut health. You have to like I said, you have to want to know. If you're just going to scratch the surface, you're not going to find this information out. But if you actually take a look, you say, okay, carnauba wax, it comes from like a palm tree in Brazil. And then all of a sudden you have this like ecological impact that it's causing because of how they're harvesting these things and this and that and and then because these plants are a part of an ecosystem, so then it's turning into an ecological nightmare how they kind of harvest this stuff. Not that anything isn't able to be done sustainably, but is it being done like that? And are you sure? Did you look into it? You know, does this company really have integrity, or do they just pretend like they do? Because, you know, some of them, yeah, anyways, they have PR campaigns, public relations, where they just kind of say whatever suits them. So yeah, that's one. You know, next one, that was the magnesium. And also, where does the magnesium come from? What is the source? You know, how do they derive this stuff? Because like some of it, I was reading about one thing. It literally certain things that they derive from metal, right? They literally are able to derive certain minerals and stuff like that from metal. They use like it's whatever they got, right? And they don't care at all about your health. So shame on you, companies. Hate you in a sense, right? Hate just meaning I'm disgusted by your greed. Yeah, I don't think you're evil. You're just ignorant, arrogant, and that stuff. So anyways, resveratrol, once again, okay, comes from grapes. Good. What else is in here? Rice powder. Last thing, silica. And so once again, we're back on this thing with silicon dioxide, where it's like, if you look at what the research says, new research, the study that I was reading was from 2024. And it's saying that, like, you know, they did this research in France and this stuff is questionable, you know, very questionable. So why do you want to put this in your body? I mean, like don't they have some kind of like regulations that, man, it just drives you insane. Like, what a waste of time and money. So you might be remedying one thing. So you take this stuff, one thing might be getting better, but then you're making other things worse. Because, you know what I mean? Because you're helping one thing and then you're toxifying something else. It's ridiculous. So then this one here too, writing is so small here. That's where they get people too. If you imagine it, you can't read. Look at that writing on there. You got to read that. You know. Anyways, non-medicinal ingredients. Purified water, monocrystalline. Once again, silicon dioxide. So then you're not just having a little bit of silicon dioxide. You've had some in here, and you've had some in here, and you've had some in here. So now you're not just having this tiny little trace amount, because if they're putting it in everything and you're taking a variety of things, then all of a sudden you're taking in more and more and more, right? More on. Once again, so here we are in these B vitamins. Like always, where is it derived from? And of course, all of these things are vegan, because I am. Non-medicinal ingredients. So let's see, we have gum arabic. Yeah, I'm careful with gums. I know that some of the gums and things like that they put in, what do you call it? Plant-based milks. Oat milk, almond milk, soy milk. Most brands will give me, it dries out my knuckles is where I see it. And so I just, like, I could have like one Starbucks coffee and I'll notice all of a sudden, it's like, hey, how come my knuckles are all dry? It's always the same thing. So I just don't put that garbage in my body anymore. But so this one, yeah, there's sunflower oil, can't be the worst. And most of this is organic as well. And once again, colloidal silicon dioxide. So there's me. I got everything that I have has silicon dioxide in it. So yeah, like I said, it adds up. Yeah, once again, curcumin, right? So this is from something that is good, but like this, yeah, like I said, the first non-medicinal ingredient is colloidal silicon dioxide. The first ingredient means that there's more of it than the other non-medicinal ingredients. So there's an amount of it in there. And then here too, so this is the K2, which is important for the vitamin D absorption. And it comes from beans, from natto. It's like what do we call that stuff? Natto bean. I don't know. The Japanese eat that kind of stuff. But it's beans anyways. Beans. So it's fruit. And then non-medicinal ingredients. Let's get down the list. But, hold on. Monocrystalline, cellulose, vegetable gum, purified water. Yeah, so vegetable grade magnesium stearate. This is another one of these things. I do believe it's in like all of these as well, or at least a good deal of them. Yeah, and it is, yeah, it's certainly in that one. And I do believe it's in all of them, right? And just, I'm not going to waste your time with just too much, but, and it's another one of these things that if you look it up, that people, it makes lists. It's like, okay, watch for this stuff because you don't want to ingest too much of this stuff. They're like inorganic compounds, or some of them are derived from plants, but then they're, adulterated. They're heavily processed, and they're essentially like a white powder. I do believe that stuff. It's the coating that's on some of these things. That's what it is. It's because it's a pill that you're going to swallow, and they don't want it to open up while it's in your mouth or in your esophagus. So it has this, this stuff on it that might, help it to get down the old mouth. Anyways, so what a bunch of garbage, what an annoying situation. So of the ones that are not bad, vitamin D3. So similar company as the K2, Natural Factors, but this one, it just got the vitamin D3. It does have the magnesium stearate in it, which I need to look into more, but that is, yeah, it's not the worst. But so here's the thing. Like I said, that one requires more research. This one does not. This is vitamin D in a in oil. It's in a liquid form. Vegan source vitamin D. So then no garbage. And so there we instantly have a winner, because then you don't have any magnesium stearate in it. And this was expensive. I swear this was like $30-40 for this bottle. And so that's just something that you have to swallow, because it's like, no pun intended, but seriously, what do? Do you run all this stuff through your body? Be like, okay, well, I spent the money, I'm just gonna choke it all down? Or do you cut your losses and walk away? I'm thinking cutting my losses and walking away, because my health is just too important to me. And I've learned the lesson about how very little things, anything, little amounts of anything over time add up. I play the piano every single day, and I get better because I do that, just little amounts every single day. Or say like yoga every day, or going to the gym. It takes years, but it adds up big time. It has an impact. Or say like doing anything Sitting too much has an impact on your posture, slouching and stuff like that. There's all of these things that can have like a, starting to overheat here, have like a either a beneficial or a detrimental impact on your health. So here's one that I started taking a while ago. I don't even know why. I heard that it was good somewhere. I remember I looked into it back in the day, and it's called Shilajit. And so why do I take this? I don't know. I think I was clutching at straws once again. But in it, it's 100% water extracted, 0 chemicals, 100% natural, non-medicinal ingredients, brown rice, water. You know, it's just this stuff. There's nothing bad about it. Does my body need it? I don't know. But at least it's not full of a bunch of things like magnesium stearate and silicon dioxide and guar gum. So that one, I don't know. I don't think I will continue taking it, but I don't think I will feel bad about finishing the bottle. Here's another one that's not bad. So this one is like a mushroom blend. Anyways, and so Dr. Paul Stamets, Host Defense, mushrooms. It's like a blend of 16 different mushrooms, medicinal mushrooms. So mushrooms are known as adaptogens, things that help the body to achieve homeostasis, like a healthy balance in a non-direct way. And in here, once again, other ingredients, nothing bad. It's just like some water or brown rice or, yeah, nothing bad. So you start to see the difference between, you got companies that basically just sell one thing, and then companies which got their grubby mitts in a bunch of stuff, health first, or then you got this natural factors, right? They're making all these things and they got all this crap in it, and you have to be careful with that, right? But then here's, same company, natural factors, and we have echinacea tincture, because I was just getting over, I was sick, and in this there's nothing bad in it. It's just what do you call it? Echinacea and echinacea and some like berry juice or whatever. So it's like you can't even give them to somebody else, because how can you give something to somebody that you wouldn't be willing to take yourself, that to be suboptimal for human consumption? And it's like because there's elements or trace elements of things in there that when you did your research are not good for your health, and so it's not worth putting them into your mouth. And the thing is like say for the vitamin D, you can get your magnesium from natural food sources. It's like quinoa is really high in magnesium. Chocolate is high in magnesium. Certain I think leafy green vegetables, kale, spinach, all these kinds of things. It's like you can get what you need from food. You just have to make sure that if you're going to be taking this stuff in this concentrated form, that you're also eating these foods. And to me, it's like, okay, well, this is convenient. It's convenient to have a couple little bottles. And it's just like, okay, well, I take one of these and I take one of these and I take one of these, and it's just like done and dusted. Well, but it's not worth it. The convenience is not worth it. I mean, so the thing is, it's like, you gotta put in the work to just make sure that you're eating some beans and some quinoa and stuff like that. And that's the other thing too with the K2, you get it from beans. If you don't like beans, I don't know. I mean, the thing is like, do you want to poison yourself slowly, or are you trying to get better? I cannot slowly poison myself in the name of getting better. That doesn't make any sense at all to me. So all of these things, I mean, like I said, I was pissed off about it because I bought them because I was trying to figure something out, but it's like, what a piss off anyways. And so, yeah, what else? You know, the thing too is like with the curcumin, you can get it from just buying turmeric and using it with your cooking when maybe if you're frying onions or whatever, you put it in there and it's like, that's gotta be enough. You'd think it's like none of these all these concentrated forms, like super amounts and things, that's not, you know, they weren't available, like say like 100 years ago. You didn't have all this garbage that you could just go waste your money on and then like throw down your cake hole and like think that you're doing yourself some good, and then it's also laced with all this other garbage that is like known to be bad for you. So yeah, all those companies can bite me. And yeah, I think yeah, because this, and it just, yeah, you should be able to get everything naturally and from your food. And if you're not able to do that, you need to look at your diet, because this is not sustainable. It's not logical. It doesn't make sense. It's not intelligent, this stuff, right? It's not environmentally friendly, you know. Yeah, it's not sustainable. It's not like, it's not it's a waste of money, you know, like it's not economically viable. And yeah, so that is my 2 cents. That is how I feel about it. I don't give anybody any advice about anything in any of my videos, but that is how I feel about this journey that I've been on with all of these things. And it's certainly the sort of where I've come to with it right now. Everything is, of course, subject to change, but I highly doubt it, just by how it feels like this kind of little journey of mine has come full circle with this stuff, this leg of this journey. And yeah, I'm ready to move beyond this stuff and embrace my health regime in a bit of a different way, right? And it's like I already was eating healthy. These were me just trying to do anything that I could to remedy my ailment. I mean, and I've done this before. I remember when I was having pain in my joints and things like that, I even took certain supplements that were non-vegan, such as like glucosamine and chondroitin. Some of them comes from like animal bones or like from shells. I remember back in the day, one time I was losing my mind, like literally, like I was screwing everything up and I couldn't remember things. I started taking fish oils and you know, it was never that. It was always something else. But in the process, when you're desperate, you go to these places and you start getting hooked up with these things. And yeah, I tell you, like, and even like with the last time where I was, so it ended up being vitamin D deficiency. During that process, I actually, because it's like, okay, question it when it's like, when something's not working, question everything. And so at that point, it was just like, wow, maybe I need to stop. Like, it was like, I need to do more. I'm eating too much or this or that. So intermittent fasting. And then it's just like, oh, you can't eat fruit and intermittent fast and alternate. It's kind of got to be one or the other. And so I actually said, okay, I will take a break from fruit. And this was the hardest thing for me because I am a diehard fruitarian. And I was like, okay. And I tried just eating cooked food for a while. I tried this, the Amen regimen, Dr. Nun Amen Ra. Like there's this video on YouTube, vegan strongman eats 1 meal a day. And it's like everything that he says is very convincing. And I agree that it works for him and it makes a lot of sense. But for me, I can't just eat cooked food all the time. I feel like an absolute piece of trash when I do that. It does not work for my energetic composition, for my physical, emotional, none of that kind of stuff. I like a little bit of cooked food, but it doesn't work. And so I abandoned fruit for a very short period of time and started, and went with that protocol until I realized it didn't work, and then got back on the fruit. And also, at the same time, realized that it was the vitamin D that was missing. And thank God, because I would hate to have to eat in a way that I didn't enjoy. And it doesn't really make sense too that biologically or like evolutionarily that we would have to eat some diet that we don't actually enjoy to thrive. It doesn't make sense, like this organism is like hyper intelligent, so is like the universe and like the source of intelligence in the universe and whatnot. I mean, it ain't no dum-dum, right? We don't need to reinvent the wheel here. We just gotta figure out what's already going on and align with it. And so yeah, I think that's it. So